Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Out by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
You found a way, okay? All right, now, what I tell you, okay? All right, this decade is going to be the decade of the Vols. You got me?
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. We are excited to be in here with you all. We're excited. It's almost football season. Well, it's college football season. It's NFL football season. Vols are still 13 days away, depending on your scale, how you do it. I know some people hopped in YouTube last weekend and said today would have been 12 days away for them. And if that's how you like to think, that's how you like to think. So for you guys, we're 12 days away from kicking off Tennessee football, going to South Carolina. They're going to have a very big cock in the front of their stadium.
A golden one.
An expensive one.
Yeah.
Who approved that? Who did that? So here's my thing about stuff like that. Think about how many stages it had to get past to get erected, pun intended, approved and then erected. Like, there's so many checks and balances that just miss, man. It's sad.
I just don't understand. I don't understand the.
Is your mic on?
Yeah,
Okay.
It is
Am I
on.
getting you? All right, cool. Sorry.
Am I in here?
It's my headset.
Okay. I just don't get, when you come up with that mascot, what were you thinking? What were you like, oh man, this would be a great mascot, like a fighting chicken?
I think when the Gamecock name was popular years and years ago, it wasn't. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'm kind of with you there. It's not so much the mascot I have a problem with. It's the $1 million golden statue of a chicken that I have an issue with. Also, the live chicken's weird to me. I'm a big live mascot. I love live mascots. I don't think a chicken's the kind of mascot you have live.
And especially when you're South Carolina, why make another reason for people to make fun of your
Yeah, that's pretty bad too. That's pretty bad. We'll make fun of South Carolina though plenty this episode. We've got some practice notes for you guys. Going to talk about what Tennessee's been doing, going to be doing as they inch closer and closer to kickoff. Nobody's out for COVID. At least it's not been announced if anybody missed for COVID.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people out.
I don't think they were 44.
No, there probably wasn't that. No.
I think
it was good enough where they scrimmaged somewhat.
Sort of. I think it was was my assumption. It was a little over precautious in terms of contact tracing. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to have some season predictions for you guys. We did this last year. It was fun. We were right about some of them. So we're going to try to be right about them again and going to predict some of the stat leaders. That's the season predictions we're doing for you tonight. Got some recruiting updates for you. And the NFL is back right now. The Bucs are playing the Saints. Tom Brady is not looking like touchdown Tommy. Well, he is. He's got 3 if you count the pick 6.
Well, it's a lot different. Yeah, true. It's a lot different from playing the Saints week 1 than having to play the Dolphins or the Jets.
But the Patriots are always guaranteed 1 loss to the Dolphins.
It's true.
So,
but it's usually not week 1.
Correct. You're right. But we are watching that game, maybe. I'm not just looking at the TV and whatnot.
Live, so.
Oh, you're good. You're fine. We were watching it. Landon went searching for that really exciting Kansas State Arkansas State game last night. And then we're going to talk some college football. There were some good games on this weekend. ACC, Big 12 were back in action. It was good. I mean, it was nice to wake up, watch College Game Day, and watch Power 5 college football.
Yeah, it was super nice.
It's kind of fun because it's like, usually all those games start the same week. You don't get like an FCS opponent and then lower FBS. But the past 2 weeks we've had college football, but it's been games you normally wouldn't watch if they were on at the same time. So it's kind of like we've gotten eased into college football.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I watched some games. I was just like, yeah, if the SEC, it just wasn't the same without SEC football.
I would have not been watching it had SEC started on time.
Correct.
If you got questions, guys, make sure you drop them in the chat. I am jumping on Twitter right now. I'm jumping on YouTube. Landon, I think, looks like he already has Facebook up. So drop those questions in. If we don't answer them right away, don't worry. We will get to them, I promise. And then we've got some high school highlights for you. We started that this year. We love high school football. For a couple weeks, it's all we had. So we're definitely going to stick with that. We got some exciting plays for you guys. And make sure you send them to me as well if you find some plays that you think need to be shown. Because I'll miss some. It's inevitable I'll miss some.
Yeah, a lot of great high school football, like around the area and then throughout the state of Tennessee also.
Yep, for sure. And then, of course, we got our segments. And before we get into the show, before we start on some practice notes, Landon's going to tell you guys about our sponsors that make this show possible.
Yeah, go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, and our new friend, Blue Water Climate Control. Go check those guys out, the official HVAC service for the Volunteer Roadshow. Also giving away a free furnace soon. So
giving away free furnaces.
Furnaces?
Yeah, go to volunteerroadshow.com and you can find some more info on that.
Also,
that's plural. Multiple furnaces.
Multiple furnaces.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get in on that.
You might need to. I mean, even if you
I don't know
need
if
it,
I'm in need of a furnace, but hey, I'll take a free one.
It's free.
Exactly.
Free is free.
Yeah. So go do that. Also, make your account on volunteerroadshow.com. That'll get you access to all our free content, all of our shows, a lot of great shows within our network. So go do that. You ready?
Let's do it. Let's jump into some practice notes. You said they scrimmaging. They were under the lights in Neyland.
Under the lights. Oh, man. I want to be under the lights so bad.
I should have just drove by. Was it Friday night?
Or was it Saturday?
If it was Saturday night, I had no reason not to drive by. I should have done it.
It might have been Saturday.
I just miss it. I miss those lights on.
Because I feel like you would do that on a... I mean, I guess you could do it both nights. But yeah, I think it was Saturday.
I think it was Saturday night, too. I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, some kind of notes out there that's kind of swarming. Little rumors going around. Again, you have some guys out. So you're having to kind of make up for that. You know, it's going to be sloppy. I think this whole year is going to be nuts. It's going to be a roller coaster. But hey, the good thing about it is we're used to that.
Right.
So
it's a normal year for Tennessee.
Right. Right. So the first one I have, and I think it's everybody likes to hear about the freshmen and what they're doing. And a guy you haven't really heard a ton about, and that's D. Beckwith, getting some reps at running back.
Oh, I guess it's needed right now, though. You mentioned the last time they tried to scrimmage. Ty Chandler was the only scholarship running back in attendance.
Yep. And I think another guy who got Pierce, I can't remember his first name, but Pierce, he's a walk-on. He's a transfer from Maryville College.
Okay.
He was one in that video with the dreads that got away from a tackle when they were doing the tackling drill.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that was an exciting video.
It was electric. A lot of people retweeted it. It's like football's back.
Pads are popping.
Yep. And I think that's huge for D. Beckwith because 6'5", 220, you're like, oh, that's like Jalen Hurd. He's actually 2 inches taller than Jalen Hurd. And then you're like, oh, maybe he's Derrick Henry. He's 2 inches taller than Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry's a lot thicker than D. Beckwith.
I mean, you said it. D. Beckwith is not a running back, a prototypical running back at least. Probably not a running back at all.
The closest thing I found to like his like height and weight was DK Metcalf.
Okay.
Is 6'4", 229. D. Beckwith is 6'5", 220.
That sounds like a tight end to me. And that's a position of need right now on this roster. So, I mean, I'm sure he's liking the running back position. You get the ball handed to you and more often. But we need a tight end. And Tennessee needs a tight end, too, that can catch.
Yeah.
And D. Beckwith can catch.
But, I mean, you can utilize him in a number of ways.
Yeah.
In Florence High School in Alabama, in 7A, he played quarterback, running back, and receiver. He rushed for over 1,000 yards, had 589 passing yards, and 526 receiving yards.
Yeah, get the ball in his hands.
And only 27 touchdowns. So.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
He's no Ty Chandler.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, 27 total touchdowns. I mean, if he's that good, utilize him. However.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you use him more as like an H-back or...
And that's a possibility. Like I know Tennessee didn't use the H-back a lot this year. Not as... Yeah, they haven't much since Butch Jones has been gone. That was more of his style of offense. But when you have a guy like D. Beckwith that you want to get the ball out and get the ball out quick in his hands because you want him working in space, I mean, that may be something you do.
Yeah. I think just like being a freshman and being an H-back, that's a lot of blocking, especially in the SEC. So I don't know, like, I'm sure he's physical. I don't know how physical. But that's definitely not an easy transition to go from playing high school quarterback to, blocking SEC defensive lineman.
No, it would definitely be quite the learning curve for D-back with. But he's an athlete, and you mentioned his size. I didn't realize he was 220. He does not carry. I mean, he's 6'5", that helps, but he doesn't carry it like it's 220.
Right, and he was a good basketball prospect, ran track as well.
Right now is going to be playing basketball at Tennessee, right?
Yeah. And we've heard that he runs a 4.4. I haven't seen an official time, but I'm gonna go with that.
That's a good rumor to hear.
Yeah, I mean DK Metcalf. We'll take a DK Metcalf, right?
Yes. Is that a trick question?
Yeah. And then quarterback. Everybody wants to hear about the quarterback. JG's QB1. That's. I mean,
did you say JT?
JG.
Okay. I feel like you were making people guess there.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was.
It's kind of stammering over those two letters.
Yeah, maybe I was. No, it's
got to be JG. I mean, I'm not trying to be if this sounds negative to some people, because I know what JG's given us in the previous year. It's got to be JG right now. Harrison Bailey hasn't hardly practiced, let alone been on. I mean, he's been on campus, but he was here for a couple weeks and then goes home. Gets him back in June, and then when we're finally able to get in pads when Tennessee starts fall camp, he missed a week.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how it could possibly be him. And I'm not saying by the end of the year it wouldn't be him. It's certainly possible, but I don't know right now how you could start. And I'm not saying he won't start by the end of the year. I think this is when we get into season predictions, I think it may be something interesting to talk about. But I just don't know how you go into South Carolina and start a freshman quarterback that's hardly practiced with you. When you've got a fifth-year guy that started for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be the guy. And
3 years. Sorry.
When we're getting to the season predictions, I kind of have a question about that for you, and I'll answer too. I just don't, it's make or break. This is it.
And if we want to, I think if we want to start talking about the quarterback situation and what could change before the South Carolina game, I feel like right now the only change you could potentially see is JT Shroud. That's a guy they've seen on the field that's gotten playing time in the SEC against quality opponents. But I don't think that would happen. But I think that's the only guy that they would trust right now besides JG to start day one.
Yeah, and last year they did not have that trust
in
him. So
I just don't see it happening. But I think you saw a lot of what you get out of Brian Maurer. And I think you saw... With JT Stroud, you saw potential, but I think he has a lot to learn, and I don't know if he's... They talked about how he's progressed, but I don't know if he's learned it all yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's got to be JG right now. I don't think the number 2 guy would be Harrison Bailey right now.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but wouldn't this be a perfect year for JG just to be a good SEC quarterback?
This would be the
with all the chaos going on. It's gonna be an asterisk. It kind of doesn't count. So wouldn't this just be the perfect opportunity for him to just go out and just...
Yeah, go win 10 games, man.
Yeah, sure.
Submit yourself among the top quarterbacks in Tennessee history after 4 years.
In a global pandemic, yeah.
Some people saying that he was the worst. Go out and win 10 games and become the best.
He can't be the worst, right? Maybe one that started for 4 years.
I'm not willing to say he's the worst right now because I just haven't... I don't know. But people say that. The people are saying that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure there's some people listening right now that would say he's the worst, and I don't know. That's their opinion. I'm not willing to say.
and he kind of came onto the scene when recruiting became big. So the expectations when he came here were huge anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean 4-star.
And then you had Josh Dobbs for so long. You're like, okay, he's the next guy.
He committed in Times Square.
Exactly.
I mean, how can your expectations not be high?
Right. He wanted that LeBron expectations. He's like, oh, he's the chosen
one. I don't think the expectations were placed upon him unfairly. I'll say that.
I'll never forget, when when the players were coming off the field at the Music City Bowl in 2016.
I didn't say this. I didn't disagree with it.
He was coming out, and we're like, oh, dude, that's our quarterback next year. We were pumped.
We won, so that's not fair to put on us.
That's true.
You're always pumped after a win. You can take on the world after a win.
Exactly. Smoke a cigar after a win.
Exactly. Thank you.
Are we going to?
This year, no, but unless Nick Saban just tosses COVID around the locker room or something. Butch Jones, this is a bad year to have Butch Jones part of your program. Something bad's gonna happen to you.
I like it. I mean, they deserve it.
I don't disagree.
I mean, because we had to endure that whole fiasco, so they should get it too for 1 year. You can't have it 1 year.
What do you make?
I guess we didn't. We made him the head guy.
No, that's
He's
dangerous.
just basically
They're
just
paying him
getting coffee.
$30,000 a year to.
Get
I don't know.
coffee.
Do what? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to get into all that. You have anything else for practice before we talk about some of these season predictions?
It sounds like the O-line has kind of been dominating the defensive line,
Sounds
which
surprising.
yeah, I don't think that's surprising at all. And I don't think the defensive line is going to be just like all world. I don't think there's a guy on that, like in that group that's just like, oh man, he's dominant.
I think it'll be consistent.
Yeah, I think you'll like get similar to what you had last year. Like they're not going to make a ton of plays,
Right.
but they're also not going to get run over.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So I mean,
I think it's going to be middle of the pack in the SEC in terms of how they perform, and I think it'll be consistent.
and
You got a lot of guys.
Pruitt's like he's a defensive guy, so he's going to be very. He's not going to be very forgiving.
No.
To his defense, so I think the O-line should dominate that defensive line. It's one of the best in the country.
Yeah, it should be one of the best in the country this year.
Yeah.
It should be. I am interested to see what that defensive line does. Like I said, I don't think they'll be at the top of the SEC. They could be. It kind of depends on what everybody else could have. I know a few will be a little bit weaker than last year, so they could end up being towards the top, but I expect them to be middle of the pack, but I expect them to be consistent. You've got a lot of older guys on there. You got a lot of guys that performed pretty well last year. Expect them to take a next step. I just don't see how they could.
Hey, just plug some holes.
Yeah.
I think we have a good secondary. We have good linebackers. So if you can just plug some holes and not let a quarterback run free, I think we'll be just fine on defense.
Let's do it. What's season predictions? What we got?
Oh, before we get into that, first, good things about Malachi Wadman, him making a lot of plays. Cedric Tillman, okay, we'll get into season predictions. Who's our starting wide receivers? Because I think this is kind of a changing topic.
Yeah. Let's see. I remember saying a couple weeks ago, if I remember correctly, I said Josh Palmer, Jalen Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt's going to be a day one starter. Man, who's that third receiver? I don't know. Is it Tillman?
That's kind of where I'm leaning.
I think that's what I said last time, and I think I want to stay there. I
Okay.
think I said Cedric Tillman was the starter last time.
I think when we first did this, like when we actually went through the receiver position preview, I thought it'd be Ramel Keaton, but I don't think he's practiced very much.
I might have said Keaton, but I feel like we've kind of always been high on Tillman. I think I'd go Tillman. I think he could be that guy. I think they use Jalen Hyatt though because of his speed.
And Tillman's a weird one anyway because like, didn't Clay Helton like let Tyson Helton know, hey, you need to come look at this kid because they were full at USC? Because he's from Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas.
It's possible. I know that.
But hey, a kid that knows how to win.
He was a 3-star coming out of high school.
Yeah.
I think he's a good. I think there's a lot of pretty talented receivers on here. We'll see who the starter is. We know they'll rotate a lot. We know they'll play up different positions on that receiving group. But I think so. I mean, Tillman may not even get as many targets as 4, 5, 6 guy, but I think he may be a starter. I don't know. He's a. I think there's going to be a lot of receivers. I don't think the starters will necessarily be the best of the group.
I'll say Palmer. I'll go Velus Jones Jr. and which I think Jalen Hyatt will be nipping right at his heels. And then probably Cedric Tillman.
Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that one. We'll see. Velus Jones Jr. doesn't impress me a ton as a receiver. As a return man, however, very impressive, and
He's got experience.
He'll be a
and-
primary kick returner, and I'd
that's
imagine
something those freshmen don't.
right. And I imagine he'll be the primary punt returner. We do know they like to rotate a lot of guys there. You have a lot of talent there. Feel free to.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll see Bryce Thompson back there at least a couple times this year. But I think Velus Jones will be the primary. So.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So all right, season predictions, stat predictions. That's what we're doing tonight. Not really getting into the. We'll do maybe. Have we done a 10-game prediction yet?
We can do it.
No, we don't have to do it tonight. I'm not ready.
Okay.
So I don't want to be thrown in.
Okay.
The fire.
Okay.
But do we have?
Well, we did go off of like we did kind of predict a record. So are you still confident in that 6-4 or 5-5?
Yeah, I think 6-4. I think yeah. I guess a game by game prediction is what we need to get into at some point. But let's do stat predictions today.
Okay.
Excuse me. Let's get into those.
So does JG start every single game if he's healthy?
I didn't expect this one. No.
I'm gonna throw it at you. No? You don't think so? Okay. I'd probably lean more toward yes. And if he doesn't, I feel like he's probably not gonna be the starter in the future. Like if there's a game he just sucks for whatever reason,
Yeah.
they throw somebody else in and they're just as good, I feel like he shouldn't.
I just got to think with this offensive line and their talent you have around it, surely of Brian Maurer, JT Shrout, and Harrison Bailey, whoever you put in there to play behind him, if he gets banged up, if he's just not playing great, whatever it may be, somebody's going to come in there and outperform him. I just got to think that.
Yep.
They just need a shot to do it
Run the damn ball.
and run the ball. Run it, Cotton.
I mean, when in doubt, just do it.
Yeah.
If you have that good of an offensive line, just run the ball.
Mhm.
I
I don't like that prediction. I'm
sorry.
going to be honest.
I'm sorry. So, who is Tennessee's leading receiver? I feel like we both have Palmer.
Mhm.
So, who's behind him?
Man, that's tough. I think it's Jalen Hyatt. And I think Jalen Hyatt, this is kind of the situation we got into last year where we were like Callaway may be the leading receiver, but Jennings is going to lead in receptions. I think that could be the case this year with Hyatt being the leading receiver and Palmer he'll have the most targets, the most receptions. But I'm going to say Palmer's still number one. I'm going to go Hyatt number two behind him.
I'll go a little different, and this might be cheating, but I'm going to go Eric Gray.
That's possible.
I just think you
Big
got
swing pass guy.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the way they've used Georgia running backs recently, I just feel like that's what Chaney feels comfortable doing, and he's got a back that can do that.
Yeah. Eric Gray's good in all facets
He
of the game.
he needs a ton of touches
He does. You're right.
if he's healthy, available.
So how many all-purpose yards does Eric Gray have this year?
I want to lean toward like maybe 1,300, 1,400.
Okay.
I want to say
Interesting.
15, but that's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
I mean, here's my hot take. If he's the second leading receiver, I think he's going to be over 1,500. If he's the second lead, I think he's going to have that many rushing yards.
That's good.
I think he's going to be touching 1,500, potentially more.
I would agree with that. If he's well over 1,000, I think he gets to 1,500. But if he's just like right on the tip of 1,000 yards rushing, I think that's going to be difficult to get 500 receiving yards.
Like I said, that's if he's the second leading receiver.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have over 500. I think our receivers are going to be a good group this year. You've got a quarterback surely in there that can get the ball to him.
Yeah.
Surely. You do have 10. You only have 10. You do only have 10 games this year. Gotta remember that, and they're all against SEC opponents. I just realized that as I said that. That could change it. I don't know if Eric Gray gets to 1,000 this year, or I shouldn't say Eric Gray. I don't know if Tennessee has a running back that gets to 1,000.
I'll say 1,100.
Okay.
All-purpose yards.
Okay. The only thing Eric Gray has missed. The only thing is Eric Gray has missed a lot of practice. VFL Bo said that. Bo 68. Yeah, he has missed a lot of practice.
Yeah, that's
The good news is it's not a freshman that missed a lot of practice. That is the good news.
right. Yeah,
At that point, aren't you just kind of keeping running back health or fresh?
Yeah, you would think. I mean, I understand like the flow of the offense and practicing, helps. But if he's able to practice these last 2 weeks, I think he'll be just fine.
I agree. Next prediction.
Sacks. Who
Sacks.
leads the team in sacks? Because I think we all agree JG is going to lead the team in passing yards, passing touchdowns probably.
Probably, yeah.
And then Eric Gray probably leads them in rushing.
Yeah, I'd guess that.
So I didn't even really go off with those. So sacks.
Sacks. Golly.
I think a lot of it's going to be by committee.
I think it is too. I don't think you're.
You don't have one eraser on there that's just going to dominate.
I don't think whoever leads you in sacks, it's going to be like 1 or 2 sacks. They're not going to be just tearing it up.
Right.
I think it's going to be a linebacker. I'll say that.
Okay.
Let me think of who it's going to be. I just don't see anybody on that defensive line.
So like an outside linebacker, or you think a middle linebacker? Or inside
I'm
linebacker?
kind of leaning towards middle linebacker right now. I don't know if it's Toto just based on the way he played last year. He was not. He was very patient. He was more of the patient backer. There were times he was in the backfield, but it wasn't a lot. And I'm not knocking him at all.
Yeah, I mean, he plays a lot smarter.
Yeah.
So he's not just like, oh, pass, gone.
I mean, I think it could potentially be Crouch. I think potentially.
Okay.
And that maybe because you had with Batuli and Toto what you had last year, maybe those roles are switched a little bit. But like you said, Toto plays a little bit smarter, so I gotta imagine that means they're gonna want to blitz Crouch more. I don't know. I think that that has a lot to do with it, but I just don't know if you have anybody at outside backer or defensive line that could help you out in the pass rush that much to lead in sacks.
I'm very interested to see if, because you mentioned Crouch, does Banks beat him out?
Or Banks. That's possible.
So you think it's one of those two guys?
I think Crouch is starting in the inside with next to Toto. And I think I just got to think Crouch. I mean, if it's who do you have starting over? You have Kevon Bennett starting over DeAndre Johnson, don't you?
I have Kevon Bennett and I have Roman Harrison.
Yeah, so I guess it could be Kevon Bennett.
But it also depends on who's healthy.
That depends a lot too. Yeah, I think I just got to stick with my gut here and say I don't think the outside backers are great pass rushers. Any of those guys. I think Pruitt's very creative in how he blitzes, and I got to think it's going to be an inside backer that lead. I think it's Crouch. I think it is.
Okay, I'll go Kevon Bennett. I think he's going to take the next step in his development. And then after that, man, that's tough.
Your pass rush has got to get better throughout the year.
I kind of want to say Crouch, but I also like who's your best 11. So Crouch was outside linebacker. I hate these Hulu Live commercials where it's not even the actual person.
Yeah, where their head's on a.
Like that's not Baker Mayfield.
It looks like me. It looks like me right now. Skinny arms, big belly. Yeah, that doesn't look like
it's
me.
weird. But like, is Jeremy Banks is he part of your best 11? So you have him and Henry Toto, and then do you move Crouch to outside linebacker again?
If Crouch is an outside linebacker, I think that heightens his chances of being the leading.
I do too.
Leading sack leader. The sack leader.
So I don't know if that happens. That's just like kind of hoping because I like what Jeremy Banks and Kavaris Crouch brings. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably go Kevon Bennett and Roman Harrison, the two outside linebackers.
Okay. What else you got for me?
Let's go picks. It leads the team in picks.
I would say Bryce Thompson, but I gotta think people are gonna throw away from him, right? Gotta assume.
You would think. Oh man.
Does Schamberger have a chance, or is he just kind of stuck being when he plays that nickel? It's hard to really be anywhere to make interceptions. He's probably going to be one of your better playmakers this year. I don't know how many opportunities he'll have to make plays on the ball.
The throws are a lot shorter at that nickel position, so that's definitely a more difficult place to get picks.
Yeah. Is it Jalen McCullough?
I think out of the DBs, I think Sean Schamberger probably leads them in tackles.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Picks, I think you're right about Bryce Thompson. I think it should be him.
He's
But
not
if-
going to have as many opportunities.
If they throw away from him, I don't know, but like, I know he's good, but has he like done enough for people to just be like, we can't throw to that side?
I think it'll depend a lot on what the backer opposite of him does.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to pick on him, you're going to throw away from Bryce Thompson as much as possible. If it's, like you said, he hasn't been incredible. So if that backer's giving you just as much of a look, yeah, it's not going to change that as much. It definitely depends on who's on the opposite side of him, whether that's Warren Burrell, Alontae Taylor, whoever's playing a lot of time there, Kenneth George Jr., whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that'll depend. I think right now, like, South Carolina is going to try to throw. It's not going to be one of those things where you're like, cannot go his direction, but you're definitely going to scheme some things away from Bryce Thompson.
I'll go Bryce Thompson, and then close behind, I'll go Trevon Flowers.
Okay. I almost like want to hot take it and just say Sean Schamberger. Does he just make a ton of plays this year?
I think he's going to lead in tackles and in sacks from the nickel
From
position.
so you think he'll lead the team in sacks or just the DBs?
Dude, I think he'll be like 3 or 4.
I think it's possible that he leads the team in sacks.
Yeah.
They blitz him a lot.
Yep.
So I think it's possible. And it's not so much, I don't think he's going to have a ton. I think the team is going to be lack that much in pass rush. I really do. I think that's the kind of key piece Tennessee's got to figure out to really be effective defensively. Man, do I have a ton of faith in Kenneth George Jr.? I don't. I feel like he made some good plays last year.
He did.
I feel like it's got to be. Based on what you see of everybody else, I feel like it's got to be Bryce Thompson, and he may only have like 3.
Yeah, because like cornerback, he's for sure going to be out there. Like his spot, like he's going to be there.
Yeah, I think he could lead the team, but I don't think he'll have a lot. 4 maybe 3. I don't think he'll have a lot.
Which is pretty good for 10 games.
That's not bad.
In the SEC.
But you would expect a leading on a
to
defense
have-
that should be effective to have 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about a
he,
guy that
he had 3 in one game last
he
year.
did, I think he only had 4 last year total, didn't he?
Yeah.
And 3 in one game. So there you go. You have any other season predictions for these statistics?
Hardest hits. Let's go that. I didn't write this down, but
If Jeremy Banks plays a lot, I think Jeremy Banks.
yeah, I would agree with that. I think I'll go with Jalen McCullough.
Jalen McCullough, Sean Schamberger may have a lot.
Yeah, his opportunity to.
Even though he plays nickel, he does not hit guys low. He's not.
Yeah, Jalen McCullough just brings. I don't even know how much he weighs. 215 maybe.
Who should have him based on their name? Danico Slaughter.
Exactly, dude.
He could be in the mix for most interceptions too.
I think him and
He has good ball skills.
Keyshawn Lawrence have been kind of talked about. I think they'll get playing time. I don't think they'll be a starter, but I think they'll play.
Keyshawn Lawrence, I mean, right? He should. Is he still listed as a running back?
Who? Keyshawn Lawrence?
Yeah.
He was listed as a running back?
Was he ever listed? I don't know.
Oh, I thought you meant like on the roster it was like a misprint.
No. I just don't know what was it. I can't speak. I don't know what he's listed as.
It should be a DB. That's where he's playing.
I didn't know if they
Moved
because I know he was gonna get the opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Is I think how they. Oh, it's Key Lawrence on the
Yeah.
roster. Is that what he goes by? Key? I like that name. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's probably one of the most talented freshmen you brought in, so
Yep.
he should definitely be in that mix. Recruiting updates.
Recruiting updates. So you had one of Tennessee's targets, 4-star defensive tackle Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, announced that he's ready to make a decision and he will have a date coming soon.
Oh, so
And he also, right after that tweet, he quote tweeted something in there like it was like, "Who is your favorite college football player or
Peyton
favorite
Manning.
football player?" He said Reggie White.
oh, okay.
You gonna be Reggie White? I mean,
I have an announcement about my announcement. That's my favorite thing.
can he be the preacher of defense, or no?
I'm not willing to like guess on those. I don't know how that would go.
What's like under a minister?
Associate pastor of defense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Music director.
I have no clue.
Deacon of defense. That's
There you
kind of
go.
cool.
There you go.
Just
Oh,
deacon.
man. If you had another guy in this decade that broke Derek Barnett's all time, that would be insane. That'd be exciting. But that'd be
Yeah,
insane.
Derek Barnett didn't get one of those nicknames, so he's probably. You'd have to do a lot more to get that.
You do. You would have to do a lot to get a nickname like that. That's right.
And then Mims the Rocky Top. Amarius
Is it happening? I know a lot of people are tweeting about it, acting like it's going to happen.
It looks like it's becoming a possibility. Him and Nyland Green, two of Tennessee's top targets, still available. They're going to keep recruiting.
Yeah.
They might have 45 players committed at one point, but hey, we'll sign the best 25, I guess. And then you had a 4-star running back commit, Cody Brown, started off his senior year like he finished his junior year.
Dude, he is nasty.
He's probably one of my favorite commits in this class. As soon as I saw him when he played against Harrison Bailey in the semifinals last year, I was like, dang, he's legit.
There's going to be the running back group could be loaded in 2021.
Because it's kind of thin right now. So, yeah, it's bringing them in. So, he had 18 carries, 237 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Parkview on Friday night. And I think Tyler Curtis, they kind of like split carries.
Yeah.
He had like over 100 yards too.
Just beating the crap out of teams.
Yeah. And going to the orange checkerboard.
Big fan of the orange checkerboard.
Yep.
They did something, though, that I was like, I don't remember what it was. I don't know.
And then you had a 3-star wide receiver commit, or I think he might be a 4-star now. Walker Merrill had 2 touchdowns for Brentwood. And then you had 2022 target Ty Simpson had accounted for 6 touchdowns for Westview.
I'm glad he can run, or he would be hurting on Saturday mornings.
Yeah. Yeah, he had 3 rushing, 3 passing.
He can make some plays.
For sure. And this is probably like the biggest quarterback prospect that the state of Tennessee's ever had.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's one of the top-rated ones in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't think of another one.
Not off the top of my head, at least. I mean, that's...
No.
there's
I
no
mean,
way
it
I'm
would
gonna-
take years. Like, definitely in the last decade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see 6 touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns.
It's a lot for a game.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a guy who had 5, which is also a lot for a game. We're going to talk about that later in high school football.
Yeah.
Anything else for
I know who it is. Okay.
Anything
I was
else
thinking,
for,
I was like, who is that?
recruiting updates? I think there were 2 guys that had 5 touchdowns this week.
Really?
What did the Oak Ridge quarterback have? He broke a school record. I think he had 5.
He did set a school record.
I think he had 5 touchdowns. We'll talk about that in high school football.
Yeah.
You have anything else for recruiting updates?
That's all I got.
Let's jump into the NFL real quick. I know we'll talk about it on Wednesday, but it's back. I'm excited. We can't be quiet about it, you know.
Yeah.
I know we're saving some of the actual NFL talk for this week, but right now I think the Saints are still kind of putting it on the Bucs. Yeah, 34-17. Anytime Tom Brady's losing is a happy day for me.
It's great.
I like Mike Evans.
He's done 2 picks.
Yeah, he has. Not good ones either.
Yikes.
Neither of them were good balls. But what about the Jags?
They're the only one that allowed fans.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the difference right there.
Just jagging off.
They not only beat the Colts, they also the Colts and the Jags hit on the over.
How is it like you trade your best player and you still win like if they had Leonard Fournette, they probably would have lost.
They're leading the AFC South right now.
They are.
Well, I guess the Titans could win on Monday.
Right now they are.
Right now they are. They're 1-0, baby.
Yep.
Not only 1-0, 1-0 against the AFC South. So that's pretty wild. And then, dude, the Browns are terrible.
They are bad.
Holy crap.
I was kind of hoping the Bucks probably could still be the Browns, But the Browns have way too much talent to be so bad.
The Bucs are playing one of the best teams in the NFL, though.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But, like, their first drive, I was like, man, they're not going to be the Browns. They're pretty good.
That little QB sneak, Tom Rain.
Yeah.
And then
He's been arguing a lot of calls. I'm like, dude.
who, Tom Brady?
Yeah.
He's whining. And you can hear it perfect on TV. That he wanted a PR for the half and he dropped the F-bomb and got picked up by Mike. You mentioned the Patriots beating the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton looks okay in his first start for
They look pretty
Bill
good.
Belichick. I mean, 75 yards rushing. I think that's the first time Bill Belichick's ever had a quarterback rush for 75 yards. I
don't even think Tom Brady did that in a season. There ain't no
Probably
way.
not. I tweeted it and I had a mistype, so I deleted it. But I said, the New England Patriots had 6 guys run the ball for him today. 2020 is back to normal. The Raiders beat your Panthers. I'm sorry about that. The Panthers were playing pretty good too.
Our offense is good. Our defense is just absolute trash.
Teddy Bridgewater looks good.
Yeah.
Which
Robbie
I-
Anderson looked good. McCaffrey, of course, looked good.
Yeah, I think getting Teddy Bridgewater in there really made the that division even more difficult than it already was.
So, I mean, it kind of makes me like, yeah, I want to tank for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, but if you like what you have in Teddy Bridgewater, then like go get some defensive guys.
Right.
So I don't know what they do. I mean, they're probably gonna have a top 5 pick because they're just don't win.
Did they finish
football
that
games.
far but down? Really?
That's what everybody's predicting them as. I don't know if you can't beat the freaking Raiders. I mean, all they have is like Josh Jacobs. Who else do they have? Darren Waller.
Darren Waller had a lot this week, I know. Y'all want to hear about my fantasy team, I'm sure. I just know because my fantasy team did well, and I have Darren Waller.
Yeah, they're not a team you should give
That's fair.
give up like 35 points or whatever.
That's fair.
The score was 37.
34. 34 to 30, I think. They mounted a comeback.
Makes me sick.
Makes me sick. I don't really have anything else for the NFL besides what we talked about on Wednesday. Those were kind of... The Bills look good, though. I did want to mention that.
I got the defense on a fantasy team. I love it.
Bills look good. What'd they have this week? That's a good pickup.
12.
I drafted them in my other league because I was like, their offense is...
Yeah, and they went they played the Jets, so that
Yeah, that
helps.
was a big thing.
Doesn't hurt. Yeah, I got 117 points right now. I still got Zeke to play. Russell Wilson put up 32.
And that's our fantasy team. I know you guys care about, so I'm glad to talk about those.
Yeah.
Let's jump into college football. Have you ever done a college football fantasy team? I kind of want to.
If what?
Like, I've done a college football fantasy.
Oh, they do that?
I think they have daily. I don't know if they have, like, season-long ones.
Okay.
Never done it, though. Think it'd be fun. If anybody's done
I
it,
think
let
I've
me know.
done it once.
I'd say it's hard.
And I don't know why I remember this, but I remember I'd always pick Jaquiz Rogers from Oregon State.
Jaquiz.
Yeah, that's his Jaquiz.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a lot. I mean, I'd say if you went and picked up, lower tier guys that, are going to put up a ton of points, I bet those are the people that win a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But college football is back. Big 12. ACC kicked off this weekend. Feels like I said, you're kind of easing back into that, feeling normal stuff. Clemson's number 1. There's 0 doubt on mine. Trevor Lawrence he should just sit out. He's NFL. He should have just went to. If I were him, I'd just do anything in my power to be getting paid to play football right now.
Yeah,
because
they could have scored 60 points.
he looks so good. Wake Forest is terrible. I know. But Clemson they just look flawless, right?
Oh yeah.
They were walking through it.
I mean, and we're thinking SEC schedule, man, that's tough. They're like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely. And then
I think they play. Yeah, they played one. I think they played the Citadel. Is their only out of conference matchup?
Clemson. Yeah.
Whatever.
Be a fun year for them. Walk into the college football playoff yet again. Speaking of ACC looking terrible, the only team I think that's supposed to other teams supposed to be good is UNC, and they just, at least in the first half, dude, they look terrible.
Yeah, they scored 21 in the fourth quarter. They were not very impressive.
No. I mean, Syracuse, they look good at times, but at the end of the first half especially, it looked like either of those teams were just trying to give the ball away, did not care who won. It was not pretty.
No.
Not a pretty game.
Notre Dame and Duke was a pretty decent game.
I didn't get to watch it.
Notre Dame didn't look very impressive. Ian Book, what's up with them just having like average quarterbacks?
David Cutcliffe.
No. I'm talking about
Notre Dame. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Notre Dame's terrible. Like that. I feel like
Just like, man,
scouting and they just never have what.
he just did not look very good.
Did he?
And I think he's like he's a senior. I don't know if he's a 5th-year senior or not, but he's been there for a long time.
I feel like why are there so many quarterbacks that just feel like that lately? Like they've been playing for the same college for 8 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chase Bryce looked pretty good. I mean, I feel like every Duke quarterback is going to look pretty good.
Fair. It's fair. Very fair. Let's talk about some upsets, though.
The Sun Belt was 3-0 against the Big 12.
So Arkansas State over Kansas State, Louisiana Lafayette over Iowa State. Who am I missing?
Coastal Carolina.
Is
over
Coastal
Kansas.
Sun Belt? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They're 2-0 against Kansas.
Yeah.
They beat them last year. Okay, so Louisiana Lafayette, they beat Iowa State, who was ranked number 23. They're now ranked number 19 in the latest college football poll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got bumped up.
Which one? AP or the coaches?
Why'd you ask me that?
You said 19?
Ranked 19th, yeah.
Wow.
Now, I mean, that is, based on the teams that are playing.
Right, yeah. They got
So
rid of, like...
They lose the Big Ten. Like, I saw Ohio State drop from number 2 to out of the top 25. That's the largest drop in AP history or whatever.
You hate to see it.
Thought that was pretty funny. I can't... Where are the rankings at? There they are.
Dude, a lot of people thinking, like, the Big Ten is coming back.
They're trying. Apparently, they're trying. I think it's stupid. I don't think they should be allowed to.
I mean, like, you got to do it, like, soon. You can't just, like, wait till November and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a season.
They want to get started, I think, like mid-October now, so they can be done in time for the college football playoff. So Louisiana Lafayette is 19th in the AP. They are 21st in the coaches.
Wow.
And ranked in front of BYU,
Raging Cajuns, baby.
App State. They're just behind Kentucky in the coaches.
Those are two, like, schools, like, if I wasn't a Power 5, like, talent, I'd want to go to
So
Louisiana?
Lafayette was they had a good season last year. I can't remember what the record was. I was looking it up when we were setting lines because Adam was saying that they had a really good year. Because I was like, I think I'd take the line. It was only at 2 scores. Iowa State was a favorite. I was like, I think I'll take that. And he's like, they're supposed to be pretty good. So we stayed away from that line. But yeah, Louisiana Lafayette's a pretty solid program. And then Arkansas State, Kansas State, I don't think is supposed to be bad this year, and they put it on them.
They did. And I think Louisiana was the one who had a punt return and a kickoff return.
Okay.
Where the breaks are made.
Yep. Special teams, baby. Special teams.
Yeah, I was going to give a shout out to our good buddy Ross Kivett about especially like if Kansas State would have like done a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you had me sweating or something like that. But
You're not going to talk trash on the loss?
Yeah, I didn't want to add
do
fuel
that?
to the fire. No, I didn't.
Okay. What about...
He'd be on me about my Yankees right now. So
Yeah, they're struggling.
5-game win streak right now.
Oh, they're finally figuring it out?
I think we swept the Orioles 4 games, so that's part
cheap.
of it.
That's cheap. Good Lord. Coastal game. Coastal Carolina was up 28-3 at the half. Is that right? 28-3 on a power. That's absurd. I know we lost. I know Tennessee lost to a Sun Belt team last year, but it wasn't 28-3 at the half.
No, that's pretty.
And we didn't get beat 2 years in a row by the same Sun Belt team.
And they haven't been
No, Coastal's not fantastic.
well, and they haven't been like a Division
Program on.
1 team
No.
for maybe 2 years. Maybe last year was their first year.
Was last year their first? No, I think it's been longer than that. Let me look it up. I think you're right how new it is, but I think it's a little bit newer than 2019.
Okay.
Not much newer, but newer.
Gotcha.
Look it up real quick.
Dude, what about Miami? Looked terrible
We looked this up, I feel like, a while ago because we were talking trash about Kansas.
against UAB. They did not look very good. Also, Spencer Rattler, he's already in the Heisman candidacy.
He looked I mean, the few highlights I saw, he was kind of like that Trevor Lawrence in terms of it looked easy.
I think he started the game like 7 for 7 with like 2 touchdowns.
Well, what was funny is Tanner Mordecai's backup had very similar stats to him.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He did have a pick, but so Spencer Rattler was 14 for 17, 290, 4 touchdowns, and then Tanner Mordecai was 14 for 17, 157, 1
Gotcha.
touchdown, and a pick.
Coastal's been
Chandler Morris. Chad Morris's son
okay.
was 2 for 2 for 37 yards.
Coastal Carolina has been a member of FBS Sunbelt since 2017.
Okay. So pretty recent for you to lose like that. Man, be down 28-3. It's pretty trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, those guys that they were recruiting to be FCS players are still on that roster. Some of them.
Right. That's insane. Anything else for college football? Oh, Georgia Tech, over Florida State. Florida State looks bad. I mean, we're not shocked.
Fans are calling for Mike Norvell's job already.
Already?
Part of me is just like, okay, that's a little soon. But part of me is just like, dude, if you believe he's not the guy,
But
that program is crap.
yeah, and you lost you lost to an ACC opponent.
Right.
It's not like you lost to Coastal Carolina.
But a team that
28
like 2 years ago was running the triple option
Fair, but this is an entire new
with
coach.
a true freshman quarterback.
This is an entirely new coach that they've implemented a plan. I mean, yeah,
Well, like recruiting classes and like where
just
you
no reason to jump the gun yet. I think.
yeah, I feel you, Florida State. We've been there. We're finally getting out of it. I don't know. I don't see them getting out of it anytime soon.
No, I agree. Yeah. Did you see the Georgia Tech kicker?
No.
It looked like I was very confused at what he was wearing. My man, I'm not judging anybody because I got to lose weight too. So. I'm not judging
I
you,
did.
but I was like, what is he wearing? It took me forever to figure out he was wearing football pants
He was
because they're hiked up so high above his knee.
He looks like he ate Kavars Crouch.
He looks like a guy that went to an open tryout at Georgia Tech.
He
looks like he's attending an open
He's the new
tryout.
Joey from Penn State.
Yes. What was that his name?
Joey something.
And then he's got those Michael Bennett pads on, where you can't even tell if he's actually wearing pads or not. Those are my favorite.
Joey Julius.
The thick kicker.
He was.
Very thick. I appreciated it. We need a thick kicker.
He looks like he ate Baker Mayfield.
Who, Joey? That guy?
Yeah.
That's a rough look.
It's a big dude.
Oh, man.
Could he not be a good? You would think like, for him to be like so flexible, like he would be a good defensive lineman.
No.
I mean, looking at him, you'd be like, oh yeah, he played.
Yeah,
defensive
probably
line.
looking at him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got Georgia Tech stuff on? Probably plays defensive line.
Yeah.
You definitely would. From first look. First look definitely appears that way. I don't know how
he
he
a good
did.
kicker?
Apparently, the Bengals kicker just got a text that he missed a game winner today tonight and tore a muscle in the process.
Dang.
Or pulled a muscle.
So, man, that's rough to like.
I heard he does not look like he's in the best of shape. It would have been a game time field goal, it looks like.
He came back looking like Trent Richardson.
Yes.
Or no, not Trent Richardson. Eddie Lacy.
Or Eddie Lacy. I think
Yeah.
both would be accurate.
Hefty.
I believe. Yeah, I believe both would be accurate. Not a good look for the Joe Burrow era in Cincinnati. Lost to the Chargers. Yikes.
What did Austin Eckler have? He hit a lot.
I don't know. Haven't seen yet. You ready to go to high school football?
Joe Burrow's gonna get killed if they don't get him an offensive line. He's gonna get killed.
Yeah, you got to. When you invest in a quarterback, you got to invest in the things that keep him safe too.
I don't know, like who have the Bengals like drafted recently?
No clue.
Like, have they drafted at all? It doesn't seem like. I don't remember like, oh yeah, they drafted so and so.
I think you're on the right track.
Or have they just took the Derek Dooley approach and just not recruited or not got an offensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean it's tried and true, baby.
I mean, it's bold, but it's kind of too bold.
It's very bold.
Yeah.
Very bold. Anything else for college football or NFL football? We kind of mixed them together. Oh, shoot. Oh, 24. Sorry, not.
Yeah, they're
thought-
on like the.
yeah.
Oh,
They scored, but
this is going for 2.
they're going for 2, so they're down 34. Bucks are down 34-23 right now. I thought it was 23-24.
Yeah,
That's why
what
I
does
got
this
confused.
really do?
Makes it a 9-point game instead of 10. I don't know.
I guess.
3 field goals instead
Yeah.
of instead of a touchdown and a field goal. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not an NFL coach. Not sure. Well, that doesn't make sense to me, Bruce Arians, but
Alvin Kamara, 2 touchdowns
yeah, looking good for the ball or for the Saints
in the ball.
representing the balls.
Yeah.
I don't know if it looks good for the balls because
I mean, the Saints look good because they just paid him. They're like, hey, we're paying you all this money. You're going to have to produce.
I think that was a lot of drama that was not a lot true. I think it was a lot of people talking for size, right? Because they paid him
It ended very quickly.
and they paid him.
Oh, yeah.
And the rumor was they didn't want to. Or they didn't want to pay him as much, sorry.
I think he's the second highest paid running back in the league behind Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that. I think all that was bullcrap. They did it and they did it right. So
I'm sure, like, if I was him, I was like, dude, you paid Taysom Hill. Why are you not paying me
I don't. Yeah, I think that was the plan all along was the
to pay him?
pay him. I don't buy into that bullcrap. So we're ready for some high school football.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we talk about we'll talk about all the exciting things that happen around high school football in I'm sure in the state of Tennessee. But first, we're going to do our top 5 plays. So these, like I said, these are my top 5 plays that I found. Obviously, I send them in. I want to see all the plays. I don't. I'll throw in the ones I see every week that I like the best. But if you think they're good, send them in to me. I'll show them.
Yeah.
If they're good, if they make the top 5, I'll do it. If your son or cousin or friend's son catches a pass that deserves to be on it, throw it on there. If someone from your former high school or high school you cheer for, send it in. I might do it, but just make sure I'm not guaranteed to see it. I'm not on Twitter enough. My girlfriend thinks I'm on too much. I'm not on enough. That's true. I don't see it all. So
You don't want to miss anything.
no. So here's the top 5 plays from this week. We're going to start out at Austin East High School. Quarterback Keon Smith, 80 yards to the house, bobbles a snap, gets hit twice in the backfield, but it's no issue for him. It wasn't enough to beat Fulton. They lost 37-7, but those 7 points were an awesome 80-yard touchdown.
Deion Smith. You know, he used to play for South Dulles, like the Chiefs.
I did know that. This next one we go to Central High School. This isn't going to be the last one you see from Central High School. This one, though, is Will Solway, 80-yard screen, untouched. Touchdown Central. They're going to be tough to beat this year.
They are.
It'll be very tough to beat. This next one's at South Doyle High School. You saw him last week. You see him again. You're probably not going to be the last time you see him because the dude is a baller. Preston Sisler goes 74 yards. Untouched, I believe. Goes opposite of the field here. Gets a great block out in front. South Doyle is down 14-0 at this point. This makes it 14-7. Anderson County did go down and score on the next drive, but this made this game interesting. It ended 22-21 South Doyle. It was a fun game. And we get to see another play from this game. This one is from Gavin Noe. Love the juke move. Let's watch the juke move again. This one is... This kid is flat out good. He had 100 yards rushing at the half, but also had this receiving touchdown. Anderson County losing was not for lack of his effort, that's for sure. Next one from Central High School. We're going to be here for a little while longer because Liam Fortner, I know you may be used to hearing his brother's name a little bit more, but Liam Fortner got in on some of the action. 5 touchdowns. So we get to keep watching this. And a great throw here from Ryan Bolton. Central had no problem with Hardin Valley. 53-21.
Yeah, Liam Fortner, last year he was a good receiver, but this year he's turned it up.
And doing it all over the place for Central. And I think they kind of need that. I think they've had some trouble replacing a senior quarterback, but they have found the answer with Liam Fortner and just getting him the ball in every facet of the game. They've got a ton of speed. They will be tough to beat in 5A. It's going to be a fun race for 5A though. That's the thing. Central's probably the dog everybody's chasing right now because they're the 2-time defending state champ. They look like they haven't skipped a beat, but it's not that simple.
And there's a lot of teams in it too. It's like we were talking Friday, like who wins out of 5A? You like Central's probably, like you said, Central's probably the favorite because they've proved that they can do that.
Yeah.
But it's whoever's going to be hot at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And there's plenty of teams that are talented enough to do it. And I saw someone tweet, it might have been Jesse Smithy, it may have been someone else. They talked about how you do have those top dogs. You got West, Pal, Central. I'm sure I'm leaving somebody off because I feel like there's someone else in that top group. Pal, Central, South Oil,
West.
So West, Pal, Central, South Oil. So those are the 4 teams that are kind of that. They will be chasing. But when you get to that second group, they can upset somebody very easily. You're talking Halls, Gibbs. I know I'm leaving off some names, but that second group. Fulton's 4A.
No, they're 5A.
Fulton is?
Yeah.
I thought they were 4A.
They used to be 4A.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they have the ability to knock off someone in that top group. I don't think they have the ability to make a run to state, but if they see a team in the quarterfinals, they have the ability to beat somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what's fun. I mean, that's one of the fun things about high school football. But I don't think the second tier teams I named, I don't see them being able to make a run to state. But on a Friday night, they may be able to beat any of those teams when it comes to that. So that makes it interesting. 4A, we talked about South Oil. Anderson County is going to be tough to beat in 4A. I know Elizabethton returned a lot from a state championship team. Greenville does not look good right now, but it's Greenville. I mean, I expect them to get better.
Yep. Who else is in 4A? Elizabethton, Greenville, Anderson County. I feel like there's another team in there too.
Maybe leaving some teams off. I'm not sure. And then Maryville. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how good they are. They did just beat a really good Alcoa team. Alcoa's 3A though. Excuse me. So I don't know what that means, but
Maryville's going to be there at the end of the.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
They're going to be in the state championship.
Probably so.
Yeah, them and Oakland will probably.
Oakland would play. That would be a semifinal team they would see.
Yeah.
I think Bradley Central will be a team that could be on the cusp of.
What about
McMinn County 6A? I think.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're
Ray County's 5A, I believe, and they're a pretty solid program. They beat Jefferson County. They may be 6A now, but they beat Jefferson County this year, who I know is not.
They also almost got beat by Carter.
Oh, did they? Okay.
The first
Carter is. They're winning.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for winning.
Find a way.
So I think they're 3-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the Ray County win. I mean, that's not a bad win. Ray County beat Jefferson County. Or did they just lose to Ray County? Is that who they lost to? No, you said they lost to Carter, right?
Who beat Jefferson County?
West played Jefferson County this weekend.
Oh, it was 40-0.
They smacked them.
Yeah. Sevier County's another team that could be.
Sevier County team, I think, is a second tier 5A team that could. They're not going to make a run to state, but they could certainly beat one of those teams on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Winning in back-to-back games, I don't think they've got what it takes right now in that program, but they definitely could go in and beat a team on a Friday night.
Yeah, it was definitely, if they had Burt that transferred to Alco, if they had him, it'd probably be a lot different.
Yeah, probably so. There's a lot of teams though that make it interesting and I think that's what's kind of fun about the talent that's kind of thrown around Knoxville right now is there's a lot of teams that can keep it interesting. You talk about in 6A, beating Maryville is a tough test, but they don't have just an abundance of talent this year. They certainly could get upset by one of those teams early on in the playoffs. I don't see it happening. There's something when it comes to a tradition of winning. That makes it different.
Yeah, got to have that mindset of just winning, and that's hard to beat a team that just knows how to win.
Yep.
That was a good game. I mean, last year was very similar to the score, right? It was very close, low scoring.
Maryville and Alcoa.
Yeah.
I don't know what the score was last year. They've played.
I think it was very close.
Yes, they've had some very close. That Alcoa defense is all sophomores last year, though. That's what's scary. Is they're all juniors this year.
Yeah,
that's bullcrap. And they held before. I don't think they've been scored on this year until.
That's what we're going to be
Friday
talking
night.
about. PAL when all those sophomores are juniors and seniors.
Yep.
Because we're talking about 5A. PAL, those sophomores are only going to get better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
So
PAL's definitely going to be a team that is going to be tough to knock off. You mentioned how they're young though, and that probably plays in favor of some of these teams like Central, like West. That definitely helps them out a lot. It is when it gets into crunch time for these teams, it's gonna be fun. I hope every team stays healthy. I don't want any playoff losses due to COVID. That would suck. And I don't think no kid wants that. No kid wants an automatic playoff win because their opponent got COVID.
Right.
So
yep.
Hopefully everybody can stay healthy and get through that stuff. And I know some teams are having to shut down and whatnot, but hopefully everybody's healthy by the time playoffs come around, because those games you have to forfeit and you don't get them back, can't reschedule them. You're eliminated. Don't want that to happen. That would suck.
Yep. Didn't so does Carter and Halls are scheduled to play a Friday. Has it already been canceled?
Carter and Halls? I hadn't heard one of the teams shut it down.
Well, I was looking at Halls' schedule and it says loss of due to COVID.
You shouldn't have to forfeit the regular season game. Unless they're not.
Yep, he just scored again. That's his third touchdown.
I have him on my fantasy team, so.
Dang.
Not on ours. Our
not
league,
on
but
ours.
yeah.
Okay.
I did win that fantasy league, though. So I scored in my 8-man league. Alvin Kamara just rocketed me to like 180 points. I've won in both my leagues now, so that's exciting.
You're pretty good at this whole fantasy.
Yeah, man, I'm getting pretty solid. Did he score there? I don't know if he stepped out before.
Ooh, that's close.
My issue though is I can't seem to win a league. I did win in 2018. You're not gonna be able to tell on this angle. Oh, that's touchdown. Can't overturn it at least. Can't overturn it. That's all I care about.
Yep.
Unless you got a better angle. Ooh, somebody's out there with them Jordans on. Are those Jordans? Oh,
He's
no.
out. He stepped out.
Give it to him at the line. Give me a touchdown.
Oh, did you see DeAndre Swift?
What happened? I didn't see it because I was watching.
So I think
what game
with
was I watching?
6 or 7 seconds left, he they threw it to him in the end zone and he was wide open
And dropped it?
and catches it, turns around and it just falls out, and the Lions lose.
What?
Is he on your fantasy team?
No.
I was about to say that'd be.
That's awful. No, that's terrible.
I mean, just think like your first
And
NFL
he was
game, you have
wide
a chance.
open.
You have the chance to win, and you drop it and you lose.
I feel bad for him. I hate that. That sounds terrible.
So they got to run another play after, and
But
and they didn't.
you missed a
convert.
touchdown. Like that doesn't make it better.
Yeah, sucks.
Dang. That's
I mean,
tough.
easy catch, just turned and didn't secure the ball,
Yeah.
and it just bloop.
Dang. Is this going to be upheld? Can it be confidently overturned? Alvin Kamara thinks it's upheld. He's calling it. He's saying it's upheld. You can't overturn that. I don't know. We'll see what they call. You have any questions? Have you had any questions dropped in the chat yet? If you have any questions, ask them now. We'll get to them. This is our segment where we specifically answer your questions. They can be about anything. We get the meaning of life a lot.
We do get the meeting live. Preston Hess needed the email address for Catfish or Billy. I think it's
Bobby C at Road.
Bobby C at
volunteerroadshow.com.
volunteerroadshow.com.
And Billy Ratliff at volunteerroadshow.com.
Yep. There you go.
Don't tell them I gave you that information just in case they don't want me to. We've read it off on the show before, I'd imagine.
Also, our episode says
Do you want their
September
address?
19th.
Says what?
September 19th. Somebody asked about that.
This is the future.
Yeah. 13th.
It is the 13th. I don't know why it says 19th. Sorry about that. I can't hear. Lion has it muted, so. Looks like though. They gave it to him. Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Why were they laughing and smiling? What?
Give it to him. Put your helmet back on.
Yeah. This is bullcrap. I don't know why I did that. We still have segments. I'm mad though.
Most important.
Most important, I have got going to the Chicago Cubs. Did you see this today? Alec Mills. He grew up in Clarksville, Tennessee. He's a walk-on at Tennessee Martin. He just threw a no-hitter for the Cubs today.
Hey.
In his 15th start in MLB history. Or in his MLB career.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
trying to find. I have a lot of fails. Oh, no, that's a fail too. One of mine was the Sun Belt being 3-0 against the Big 12, because I just think that's hilarious. Oh, Metro Nashville high school football
Finally
should
coming back.
begin soon.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific
haven't?
date,
Okay.
but it should be soon. I think that's right. It's not right that everybody else around them gets to play and they don't get to, because
I haven't really heard of it. So I think the original reason was because they weren't in school, but I think they've been back in school for a while now, haven't they? Since I think
Yeah.
Labor Day.
I don't know what it's like with virtual, and I don't know. I'm sure there's some school, I don't know if it's virtual or in person.
Yeah. So I think the original decision was because they were virtual, that's why they weren't playing. But I think they've been back in person, I think, since Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's right.
So I also have one more. Vardman High School in Mississippi, their head coach, Brennan Pugh, was in quarantine due to COVID-19 and rented a lift where he could watch the game. Did you see that?
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Dedication. If your coach isn't that dedicated, shouldn't be your coach. How about that? You agree? Would you rent one to see your team play?
I don't think you need to with all the technology you have today. Just live stream it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You want to be there in person? Maybe you
fine.
want to call plays.
I feel like you could do that though also over live stream.
That's probably also true. But is there a delay? If there's not a delay, yes.
I mean, you could operate it on not on a delay, yeah. So you could. I don't know.
But you would do it.
Yeah, I would if I was
Caleb's a great coach.
if I was quarantined, I would be watching my team in some whatever way I needed to make happen. So,
Absolutely.
I don't know about renting a lift because I'm afraid of heights. So I don't know about that.
That's probably a lot of money, I would assume.
Maybe. I would think. But
Also, like, who has to like sanitize that? Does he have to sanitize it? Because that wouldn't make sense.
there you get into a whole mess of issues when you do that. So
Sure.
yeah, I think live stream might just be the way to do it. I don't know. We'll see. Any more most important? Can I go to fail?
Yeah, go to fail.
All right,
that's
my
all I
fail
got.
is Kansas, and you may be going, yeah, they lost to Coastal, Caleb. We know. No, they also misspelled their starting quarterback's last name on his jersey.
Oh my god.
Not a backup, not a third string, not a kicker. Their starting quarterback. Like, they probably took a picture of his jersey to, like, tweet out, like, this is what we're wearing today.
Yeah.
And it was misspelled. It's amazing. Amazing.
You see how like their football programs
It's
prioritize that
it's the little
Kansas-
it's the little things, okay?
Yeah.
If your equipment managers aren't doing it right, then your quarterbacks aren't doing it right, then your staff isn't doing it right, your quality control isn't doing it right. You're not going to win, man.
Yep. Matt Hatter, we need better.
We do.
We deserve better.
I'm a fan of the Matt Hatter, but he's got to get it together.
Yep. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing. So my next fail is Texas Tech again. What's up with the defense?
Yeah, I mean,
Houston Baptist, their quarterback threw for 567 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, Texas Tech also threw for 430 yards.
yeah, they just outthrew him.
Yeah, but 567 yards
Right. No, that's
against your Power 5 team against Houston Baptist.
I don't have a good answer for you there. That's just bad.
Oh my god! Like we joke about first to 100, but that's what we're talking about. Just no defense whatsoever.
No, it's bad.
You're like,
For sure.
well, our quarterbacks should win Heisman trophies. No, they should not ever. It's so bad. That's hard to watch. I understand you want scoring because that makes games more fun, but that kind of scoring is just awful.
Right.
Just hard to watch.
I don't disagree.
Any more fails?
That's all I've got for fails.
I got Memphis. 901 has at least 20 people within the football program who have tested positive for COVID-19. After their win, they rented a party bus.
The program did? Or like players did?
I don't know that. They beat Houston, and then I guess it's players. Rented a party bus.
Okay. At least it wasn't the players. That scared me. I was like, oh.
It what?
Like,
Wasn't the
or
oh,
the
staff.
The staff, yeah. That made me nervous. I was like, golly, you can't be doing that. Yeah, that's bad.
But, I mean, if they want to end the season, they'd end 1-0.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. We're going for the 2020 national championship.
Then that would be a most important, I guess, if that was your
Memphis
end goal.
national champions.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you didn't think about that.
you got to call bank in that case. You got to be like, this is what we're doing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Lifesville, the Swamp's on fire.
It is. You're right. What happens if that stadium burns down? I wonder where they play.
I don't know. Trying to think of what's
I mean, they'd probably have to go to like Orlando, right?
probably.
For like the next, like the next best stadium. They either play in Camping World or in UCF's
Yeah.
Bounce House.
Gross. I mean,
I'd rather play in the Bounce House than Ben Hill.
yeah, that. Could you imagine like the smell? It already smells.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Burning flesh.
Apparently, it was a vehicle that caught on fire.
Yeah, I heard it was a tractor.
Oh, a tractor. Okay.
Yeah.
So like on the field. So is
Yeah,
there like burn? Is the field burned? Like, is there a patch that's burned up?
I don't know.
Are they at home on their first game?
Oh.
Because there's a burn patch, we may get to see it. That'd be exciting to find out.
I don't know. Like, how does that even happen? I guess stuff blows up, but like, how old is that tractor? Like, if a tractor blows up, it was 35 years old.
Oh, is that when they start blowing up?
Yeah, that's when they started.
That's awesome. I don't have anything else. That's all I've got, guys. I want to appreciate you all joining in. It's been fun. Landon might have another fail.
I do have one.
Oh,
So
you?
the South Carolina.
What is going on, dude? Apparently,
So-
though, it may be a dad.
It is, the dad is like pushing for it, but there is a video
There is a video.
of
Everybody
like,
was
the
acting like-
fight.
Okay, everybody was acting like there was nothing to it, so I didn't know.
But apparently it was over like it's a walk-on freshman, and apparently he was stealing, and then 13 players like beat the crap out of him. I mean,
13's a little too much, guys. Unless he stole from all 13, then
right? Yeah, it's like, yeah, you shouldn't steal, but
getting beat up by 13 guys is
also like
a little much.
got to be a little bit smarter than that.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, one of their big-time recruits was involved. One of their starting DBs was involved. I think their top running back, incoming freshman, was involved. So
Yeah, that's not good.
not good.
Nope.
I mean, I guess it's. I don't want to say that's good, but it's probably works in Tennessee's favor.
Right. Right.
I mean, there just seems like a lot of things going on with South Carolina right now that's just not good.
Right.
It seems like a very toxic program right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. See how it plays
We'll
out.
definitely find out in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, now officially unofficial. We are. It's officially official. It was unofficial. It was unofficially official like 3 minutes ago. Officially official. We're getting off here. Appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. Make sure you check out Hound Dogs, Tennessee Tap House, Blue Water Climate Control. Go on volunteerroadshow.com. You can find out how to get a free furnace. Do it before I guess it's pretty hot right now, so you may want to do that now and try to get that cold air coming in.
Yeah.
But find out how to get a free furnace from Blue Water. As always, we'll be back on Wednesday, and we're 13 days or 12. We're ending the show, so we'll call it 12 days now. We'll call it 12.
12 days of Christmas. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.